So hi, welcome everybody to TaF.tc's open house for August 2020. So today we are going to be talking about embracing change in the fashion industry. So today this will be our first virtual open house panel discussion, and we'll be looking at some of our graduates and how they adapted to the age of COVID-19 and found new ways of running their business without sacrificing their creativity. What happens that we have our speakers for today. We have Nadiah from ELNADYAH. She's a TaF.tc graduate of from our apparel design and product development class of 2016. Is that correct, Nadiah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Then we also have Sophia. So she's the founder of Loft, and she's also a TaF.tc graduate and from the Diploma in Fashion Business class of 2017. We also are pleased to welcome Josephine Ho. She's the founder of Qiqing. Right? So if you want to get your cheongsams or qipaos done, she's the one that you look for. She's also a TaF.tc graduate and of the Diploma in Apparel Design and Product Development class of 2014. And lastly, we have Clara Han. Have a wave, Clara.
Hello.
Yeah. So she's the founder of Oleah, which is a shoe brand, and she's also a footwear diploma graduate of 2017. Right. Later on, we'll be moving after this session. We'll be actually having a closing commentary event with our chief executive of the Textile and Fashion Industry Training Center, Josephine Ho. So later on, she'll be coming online immediately after this talk. Okay. Right. And of course, you have me. I'm the assistant manager for learning experience at TaF.tc. So basically, I'm the person who is in charge of trying to look at the experience of our learners as they go through our courses, and how can we improve it and make it better for everybody, including our trainers and our staff as well. Okay. So why is our talk? When I created this title for the talk, we initially was something else. But halfway I decided that maybe we want to change it to something called embracing change in the fashion industry. Now, the reason why I said embracing change in the fashion industry is because I think since January of this year, we have had so many changes in our lives, right? I mean, we miss having coffee with our friends in Vietnam. We do not gather in groups of more than 5. Classes are now online. Even there's so many things that are totally different from how it used to be, and we can be resentful about such changes. I mean, the normal Singaporean way is to complain, right? So we can complain about the changes, and we can complain, oh my goodness, I have to wear a mask every time I go to the house, all that kind of thing. And that's a very negative sentiment to have. I mean, being resistant to change doesn't do much for you. So why not embrace it instead? Why not accept the fact that things are going to change, but you can change the way in which you approach these new developments, right? If you look at it from a positive perspective, it actually opens up a whole range of different opportunities and new ways of doing things. So one of the reasons why I also felt about this is because in Facebook and Bain and Company made a report in quite recently, actually earlier this year, or a few months back actually. They had a report called Digital Consumers of Tomorrow, Here Today, Seng Southeast Asia report. So in 2019, this Facebook and Bain and Company projected that by 2025, in Southeast Asia, we'll have 310 million digital consumers. Right, that was their projection in 2019, last year. But in 2020, they project that we will hit that same number of 310 million digital consumers within Southeast Asia. So what was initially supposed to be a 5-year-long change has now been compressed literally into 1 year, all because of COVID-19. And by the end of 2020, almost 7 in 10 Southeast Asian consumers will be going digital. So it means that whatever changes you're going to be having, it's all people are going to become digital natives. They're going to become digital consumers. So there's if we do not change to accept this new rise of e-commerce, then there's also going to be a lot of difficulty there. In fact, even the chief strategy officer of Lazada says that e-commerce is no longer just limited to young adults anymore, but those willing in their 40s and 50s saying they're now willing to shop online as well too. So now shopping online is now no longer the domain of young people. It's actually moving on into people of middle age as well to 40s and 50s. which traditionally did not really go into online shopping. So, in this context, so that was the context of what this talk is about, right? Having all this change in new e-commerce behaviors and stuff like that. So I'd like to now ask our panelists a couple of questions. First of all, I mean, given this whole period, we like to hear from you all. Walk us through the challenges you faced when the impact of COVID-19 began to hit your businesses, and what other challenges do you foresee in the years ahead? Maybe anybody would like to start first?
I can try.
Nadiah.
So for my business, right, I've been always sell my online. So there's a slight change for me because usually I will do online and also pop-up store. I don't have a physical shop and I don't intend to have one. So I start up as an online business. And yeah, that is the slight change is only that I don't have any more pop-up store. So now I only have my own home office and my home showroom. That's all I have. Yeah.
Wow.
That's how I survived during COVID-19 as well.
But have you seen more sales of your products online compared to
yeah, the sales go down for the baju, for the clothes and outfit and stuff. But I actually create a mask. I make all my fabric, my scrap fabric into a mask. So that's how actually I sell a lot of masks and I make profits out of it.
That's good. So basically, it's a pivot from your original apparel styles of baju kurung and so on like that, but then more towards mass because it's the new hot commodity, right? It's quite sad. I mean,
to follow the situation and the trend.
Yeah. So, but then, wow, that was glad that you were able to pivot that fast. Anybody else like to go next?
I have 3 big challenges. Like what Nadiah said, she has an online store, but I have brick and mortar showroom. So I can't meet customer face to face. That's the biggest thing, especially during the lockdown period. I do a lot of customization jobs, so I can't do on-site measurement, which is very important. And the last thing which I really enjoy most is I can't go sourcing trip. At least I know that for next 1 or 2 years that this will not be happening. So yeah, that's my 3 biggest challenge.
Oh, okay, wow. Sophia, you wanted to add on just now?
Oh, I wanted to say similar to Nadiah, I started out doing an online shop, but then I discovered I really need to go out and meet people, so I also did pop-ups. So the inability to do pop-ups is actually has quite a big impact because it's not like you make a lot of sales at the pop-up, but there is visibility. And I think that's very important because there are millions of websites. Why would people go to yours? That kind of thing. But sometimes if they walk past and see your pop-up and it's interesting and they follow you, I think that is something you can't really calculate in dollars and cents, but it's very important. Yeah, she's nodding. Yeah. But luckily I also have a showroom, so I am like Josephine. So during the lockdown we can't do fittings or anything. But yeah, now one-on-one basis we can do.
Oh, okay. So basically, you also shifted to online fittings as well too.
Not online fittings. I mean, physically, people can. I mean, after the lockdown.
After the lockdown,
yeah. But definitely, revenue-wise, the sales-wise, it's not quite a lot.
So, but the thing is that overall revenue definitely has dropped quite a bit for you, How about you, Clara? I mean, I hope the shoe business is a little bit better.
Not really. Actually, kind of same problem as everyone else. I think the first thing is that production is affected by travel restrictions. So all of my production facilities are actually based overseas, and for me, I'm very, very hands-on and involved in the entire production process, sourcing process, and all that. So much like Josephine, I also cannot go overseas and do my sourcing trips. I actually, when in February, I had actually booked a ticket to Milan to attend one of the trade shows, and because of COVID, I actually had to cancel my air ticket. Yeah. So yeah, it was kind of pity, but I foresee that this is going to be the case for most like exhibitions going forward as well. That most of them are actually going to move online, and same like everyone else. Actually, I don't have any physical showroom, and I've always relied a lot on pop-ups. And I think especially for shoes, right? People will only buy shoes after they try it on.
Yes.
So basically all of the events that I had planned for the year were cancelled. Yeah, so it's really like quite challenging during this period. Yeah.
Okay. Then in that case, brings on to our next question, navigating change. And so now you have shared with us the problems that you have been facing, and there are a lot of problems from what I'm hearing, which I feel really bad, really sorry to hear about. But what do you do to address it, and how do you do it differently from how you would normally do it usually? Like, anybody like to go first?
Maybe I'll just go first for this,
Yeah,
because I just ended my problem. So basically, because we are unable to hold a lot of events anymore, what we're doing at Oleah is that we're shouting out a lot more about our delivery service and our returns policy. So for example, the thing that is special about our shoes is that everything was made from scratch. So the toe box is slightly wider than other shoes in the market. And as a result of that, it's not really like the standard sizing that you would find out there. So we handle all of the deliveries in-house, and like we would constantly like shout out on social media to say that okay, it's risk-free shopping. If you purchase anything, we'll bring down a couple of sizes. We'll be there to advise you on the fitting and things like that. And I think the other point that I wanted to make is also because customers are not able to like feel and touch the product. So one of the questions that we had to ask ourselves is, how do we translate the same amount of feelings and excitement to the buyer when she cannot touch the product? So during these few months, we've really used social media a lot more to create videos, be it like pre-recorded or be it through stories, to just like showcase and elaborate on the details of our products, so that like instead of seeing the product real life up close, at least people can still have a look at like the details up close, but through video. Yeah.
Pretty cool. I think I've heard of some people who actually would send like swatches of the materials to the client just to have a feel of the leather or like the fabrics. I think that's also quite expensive also, to be honest. But yeah, that sounds like very interesting. So it sounds like you pivoted towards more on like content marketing in a way to actually kind of like draw your clients closer to you, as opposed to having that sales experience, so to speak.
Yeah, I would say that it's about trying to translate the physical thing onto the virtual, and just to still have our followers engaged. I think even though we may not be able to see them face to face or hold events, but that engagement is still very important. Yeah, so it's a good thing that at least we still have like technology and social media to do that. Yeah.
True.
Anybody else like to go next?
Sorry, just a sidetrack again, just in case. I don't want to interrupt the whole thing, but I really still can't see Sophia back end trying to do something, but they couldn't. So in any time that Sophia is sharing something, maybe Qiqing, I'll need you just to do a quick, so that I know I don't want to interrupt the whole thing. Okay?
No, that's fine. It's okay. No problem.
Okay.
It's okay, Josephine.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah. Then anybody would like to go next?
Okay, I'll go next. So you have to tell the because we can't really, we still do our Instagram marketing and we still try to reach out to people like that. But there is kind of a limit in a way, because people can't feel it and see it. So I think what I have done actually is I put the focus back into my existing clientele. To kind of service them better, because sometimes at pop-ups, you sometimes get very busy, like 3 people come at once, and then you're like just shoving the clothes and like, okay, you try it, and then if there's anything wrong, you come and look for me. But now you have really more time, and everything is moving at a slower pace to really like talk to them individually. And then sometimes when you get an order, you just double check with them, give me your size. I'll make sure everything is perfectly fine for you, because some people don't know their size.
Yes, that's true.
And try and make it more personalized. So I think that is the thing I've done differently during this period, just simply because life is slower.
Okay, so Josephine, just to summarize Sophia's points, I mean, it's funny how technology is both good and weird at the same time, right? Like, you can have a fantastic panel conversation across like the entire Singapore, but you can't hear one of our speakers. So I mean, that's irony for you. Okay, so what Sophia was sharing was that while she's been doing her Instagram and Facebook marketing as well, to like just sharing it online as well, what she did was that she actually focused a bit more on her existing clientele. So she reached out to her existing customers and tried to again service them a bit better. Try and give a bit more of a personalized touch. And is that correct, Sophia?
Yeah.
So I think that, which is interesting, because I was also reading another article from Accenture, the consulting group. They were also sharing that right now the majority of customers are actually looking towards brands that actually see the real me. So basically, if brands can reach out to the customers through a more authentic way, and that they are more receptive and more responsive to customers' behavior and needs, then they're actually more inclined to actually stay on with the brand as well too. So in a way, Sophia, what you're doing is you are actually focusing back on your own clientele. It's a remarketing technique. You're focusing on your existing clientele, and you're making your service level like go up instead. Yeah. It's really good, because I mean, if you can't get more, focus on what you have and be on the defensive mode of things in a way that actually works as well. Yeah. How about you, Nadiah? How about you?
Me, well, it's the same as them, but the thing is, my items are more to free size, like straightforward. So don't really have a big problem on that. It's just that I have to post a lot of videos on the tutorial how to wear my items, and yeah, that's all.
Wow, okay, so then you're educating your consumers on how best to wear it, lah. So
so example, like a sarong. So a lot of people like, how to wear the sarong, so I make a tutorial on how to wear a sarong. Yeah, so it's quite straightforward though for my part.
Just out of curiosity, how's the reception for your videos? Like, how many views are you getting so far?
Sorry, for me?
Yeah, for your videos on your video tutorials.
Well, depends. Because I have, for the bottoms, I have like 2, 3, and then I have pants, I have skirts. So every product I have a tutorial on how to wear, and also I have like a head wrap. Then I have to make a tutorial on that as well. Yeah, so every single thing I will have to guide my customers on how to wear. Yeah, so that's how I prepared. Yeah.
But then the other people, do you get people who are not even your customers, and then they start coming to your videos and go like, oh, actually your stuff looks amazing, where do you get it from and stuff like that? Do you like tweak it in that way?
I do get that kind of feedback also from other people who come to me. Oh, how do I? And also some of them will, without a tutorial, they know how to tie it themselves. They can actually do it. Yeah, it's actually it depends on you. It's how you want to be creative on my products. Yeah, there's no right or wrong with it. Yeah.
That's great. So I mean, that's interesting, because what you're doing is like now you are creating educational content to share with your viewers, and viewers actually respond to that too, because people, I mean, I don't know how many times I actually go online, I type in how to tie a tie, right? So because sometimes I really cannot remember how to tie a tie. That's why I'm not wearing one tonight. So but I mean, when you write this kind of like SEO kind of like angle, right? Like you're searching for these kind of things, and then it comes up that. And then it's a good opportunity to, and say, just like Loki, like, hey, actually, these fabrics, you can actually purchase it here, just saying.
Yeah.
Something that you consider, Yeah. So I mean, that's a great way. Josephine, how about you? I know. Okay, this one a bit of a spoiler, lah. I know because Josephine was featured on the Straits Times. I think back in April, no, back in June, right?
During the
June,
COVID period, during the before the
period.
phase two, before the phase is opened up.
Why don't you share with us a bit more? Like, I mean, if for those people who have not read the Straits Times, people don't really consume news on the Straits Times these days.
Okay, a quick one. Tammy, my customer, she's from Perth. Supposed to come in February to do her cheongsam. Excited, but then I think by March there was somewhere in the middle of March, she actually called me and tell me that the borders are closed. There's no way she can fly over, and with that reason, so basically the job could be cancelled. But then I hear from her disappointment through the conversation. I actually make a quick move by suggesting that can we do actually online measurement. She was excited. She was game. She said, if this can be done, let's try it. So very fast, straight away, she said, yes, let's go ahead. And but of course, customer, they don't know what to do. They will just stand out there and we do the job. So this time around, she has to do the job. So a lot of details in terms of the step-by-step preparations and procedure has to be well conversed. So things like I could have to tell her what to wear during the day for body measurement. I got to actually even ask her to prepare materials like the most important thing, the measuring tape, necklace, strings to tie around the true waist, things like that, so that she could, with all these little things, she could actually give me the best guidance to give me the accurate measurement. So of course, I also need an assistant there. In any time anything could have happened, that assistant could do the impromptu job. So things like that have to be told. Over my side, I also have to wear the same thing. Do a live demo as close as possible and as low as possible, because like I said, they have no idea. So with that itself, we could actually go through the process, which is, like I said, the body measurement, the most important thing. So the good thing is, we really have the online gadgets, we have the platform, and I mean, like Zoom, you say it's a big thing now. Now I learned Hopin also, new thing. So we have all this new platform, which helps a lot that we could move on with not just consultation, but like the physical measurement can be bring online again. So that's a good thing that we could do that. But of course, experience do counts a lot also. So if she were to give measurements that I deem that is not right, I could straight away sound her out and ask her to do a remeasurement, and we could rectify straight away online. So that actually helps a lot as well. Then talking about material, which a lot of them, like Clara was talking about how you actually do on video and things like that. Yeah, actually, I mean, sometimes we can send swatches, but if you're talking about time-lapse, which is so far away, that's because I have a lot of issue also when I send parcel overseas. There's a lot of delay. So with issue like that, you don't dare to take the risk. So the details of how you actually show your putting on the right light to show your fabric, not just the front side, the back side, to touch and to explain in such a way that how close, especially they are not in the industry, so they will not understand when you tell them the content. But you got to just relate as close as possible to what they have worn, that they will understand what is the feel of the fabric like. So these are the two biggest things when we do online consultation, that the body measurement could be taken, the fabric could be done as well. So yeah, that's done. And of course, I buffer a lot of time, another 2 more weeks for delivery. Like I said, SingPost have picked up on that. So it went through, everything goes fine. So yeah, with the precedence, it helps a lot that people know that, hey, it's not just a traditional way of doing, but you could actually go to a digital site to do it. Yeah. But then, of course, if you're talking about the online sourcing, yes, we can do that, but it's quite a sad thing. I mean, for us, the touch and feel is so important. Seriously, you need the touch and feel. And each time you go for sourcing trip, I believe Clara know that you always find a gem there. You really find something that you didn't expect. You enjoy that part. But then again, with this pandemic situation, I guess our mindset to change and readapt is important. Because, I mean, even though with limited resources, I do believe I learned too, knowing that with our creative mind and solution, design can still be created in one way or another. Yeah.
Just got to find a way around it.
Yes.
I think, okay, just to summarize, I think it sounds very interesting what we all have been doing so far. Clara has been going into doing more content marketing, focusing more on like, what's the brand, what's the kind of like items that you have. Sophia has been focusing more on the sales experience. Nadiah also has been going into content marketing in a way, or like trying to reach out to the SEO, the search engine optimization kind of like methods, by appealing to new people who have not even heard of our products before. And Josephine has been actually changing the way in which she delivers her measurements, or delivers the way that she actually does her work. So I think that's a very interesting spectrum of techniques that we have actually adopted to change into this new environment. In fact, actually, just to share also from my side also, because I was helping out to change TaF.tc's courses from in-class to online, right? So I had a lot of people also complain to me, how can you do sewing and drafting online? It's impossible, you can't do it. Then it's like, okay, I understand your concerns, but I mean, what happens is that I got the trainers to, like, I bought a little like camera phone for the trainers, taught them how to use Zoom and all the different things. And then our trainers were amazing. They basically figure out like, okay, you need to put the camera here on this perspective and stuff like that. And then you then see the entire drafting process being done. And at every stage, we check in with the students, okay, this is the part of drafting, this part you need to cut, that part is the issue, that part you need to pin, you need to rectify this in the sewing machine and stuff like that. And it was amazing. I had so many people actually saying to me, wow, Qiqing, actually doing this online class is so convenient because I don't need to crowd around the trainer's sewing machine. Because if you have a whole class of 16 crowding on the machine, you can't see anything from a certain angle, right? From some angles. But now you can see everything clearly. And everybody likes the convenience of it because they don't have to rush down from like Tampines all the way down to Tiong Bahru or Red Hill. And so, I mean, I think that was quite interesting that we all took what was key to our businesses and we tried to make it into something that that we could use it to survive. And I think that's great. So, which brings on to actually our next question. So now, when the things have relatively settled down, right? I hope, fingers crossed. What new opportunities do you see your business embarking on? Like, what new ideas do you want to pursue? Like now that you have, like, I think we are getting this new normal. What's next? Anybody like to go first?
No.
I mean, it's okay. If you have not gone that far and anything like that. I mean, sometimes it's like as Jack Ma was saying, sometimes you just need to survive this period before you go back to normal. Yeah,
Yeah.
For me, I guess I mean a lot of them have a online shop. Mine was I have a physical shop. I don't have an online shop. So to me, it's really the part of the government grant on the digital solution. So I guess this is the best time for me to grab hold of this opportunity to hop on to the e-commerce site, get hold of the grants from the government and set up my e-commerce store.
Okay. Well, actually, Josephine, we actually do have something actually for our graduates. It's called the Labor SG. So I think people who have been listening to this talk have been hearing us talk about the Labor SG for like the longest time. But we'll get in touch with you separately to talk to you about it. It's also open to all our graduates, by the way. So all our graduates have access to the Labor.sg. It's going to be an e-commerce store from TaF.tc. So you don't have to like take so much of effort trying to like market it on your own and run it on your own and stuff like that. You can focus on your business.
I'm in that as well.
Yeah, okay, great. Better already. Clara, sorry, you wanted to say something just now?
Yeah, so I think for us, because we are still mostly online, so I think we'll be looking really more to increase our social media presence by doing a lot more advertising. Because now we cannot do pop-ups anymore, so hopefully we can do collaborations with complementary brands, even though we can't do like physical pop-ups, but now with digital we can do like cross shout out on each other's IG or like Facebook and things like that. And it's just about reaching awareness. And I think that's like expanding the awareness, because I think that's one of the fastest ways to actually get reach a larger target audience, especially when you can find complementary brands as well. And one last thing also, I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but we are thinking of, seeing whether we can rent a small space just for a short while to do like a little pop-up. So I think that because it's been a couple of months already, what we are hoping on is actually some pent-up demand from our customers, and hopefully we would see a little bit more. Of course, doing it in a safe way with like by appointments and stuff like that. But yeah, we are considering, having like a small little pop-up or like showcase area. Yeah, coming very soon.
Please do keep us in the loop, then we can share it on our social media platforms as well too.
Sure.
Oh, Doreen's asking, Clara, where do you want to do your pop-up? So I think.
What do I want to do with my pop-up?
Where do you want to do your pop-up?
Oh, okay, yeah. Actually, I've already booked a small space. And it's I'm looking at like a 1 month pop-up kind of thing. Yeah.
So it's really short.
So yeah, very, very short. I mean, just to kind of test out also, because I think at this point in time, right now, everything is changing, even the way how consumers shop and all that. So it's just about testing and seeing whether it works. Yeah.
Yeah. I think A/B testing is quite important. So Sophia, you looked as though you wanted to say something, you wanted to join in or something like that?
I forgot. Sorry.
It's okay. Nadiah, do you have anything to add on? Or we can move on to the next question. Nadiah?
Move on to the next question.
So moving on. So now I think Clara and Josephine actually shared some of the aspects, some of the things that they're actually interested in seeing how they get improved on. So maybe right now, what skills do you think that you need to seize these opportunities, or what skills do you think other aspiring entrepreneurs would need? So it's kind of like you can choose to answer either question, or I can answer both. I really leave it up to you.
Okay. Maybe I'll go first.
Sure thing,
Yeah. So earlier on, I think Nadiah shared that she does a lot of videos and tutorials on like how to wear her clothes, and as straightforward as shoes are, I actually have been doing some of this kind of like short videos as well, especially for like shoes that are maybe in a color that may not be as easy to match. So for example, like if we have like red shoes or like blue shoes, and then like some of our customers will be like, oh, how do I wear like these shoes? So maybe we do like styling tutorials, but in a very general way. So actually I find that right now, if you are doing a business, it's not just about designing only, but you need to learn how to be able to reach out to your customers. And then like as a designer right now, I find that I also need to do all these like content creation. I need to learn how to like use Photoshop and like video editing, so in the end you kind of like I do kind of see that it has become like a whole package now. When you do e-commerce, it means that you have to be able to at least dabble a little bit into all of these areas as well, because it's really about like reaching the customer in like many, many different touch points, not just in like the product photos, but also in videos and like live IG and things like that. So yeah, definitely direct marketing skills and like social media video skills. Yeah.
Very important. Yeah, I think, Sorry, Nadiah, you want to say something?
Yeah, right now, like everybody is using TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
So that is one of the marketing stuff. But I don't use TikTok, but it's just some idea that you guys can also do.
Yeah. I think the Singapore Business Federation actually has got a class on how to use TikTok lah. I mean, for fogies like me, like I'm like 30 years old, 30 plus years old, I don't know how to use TikTok. Then like people laugh at me, and then I'm like, okay. But I suppose I have to go for a course like that lah. I mean,
but somehow it's fun to see.
yeah, and it's so creative in the way they do the video editing on TikTok, right? I mean, I found it quite amazing. Yeah. Sophia, Josephine, any thoughts?
I will definitely, I say e-commerce site is on the way. I guess to up my skill on the digital platform is also important. Like what Clara says, seriously, looking at age, I'm obviously on the next generation. So I will need to really pick up on all this social platform, all these digital solutions, and to attend course as well. Like I said, government is giving lots of grant. The government is supporting us, is helping us. So attending class to let me know more about that aspect will makes a lot of difference. Balancing it at the physical store and the e-commerce to make sure that both work and bring the brands up. I mean, seriously, I have actually during this time while you're saying that what to give to the entrepreneurs, not the physical skill, but I really think that this time now everybody have learned this thing to say everything is changing. So the word that I've thought of is really adaptation to change. Because I remember I attend TaF.tc, one of the class, which is a marketing class from Pamela Wigglesworth. But it's just that one sentence that she mentioned, which I really remember forever: sell what James want. It's really not about what we want to sell, but it's really at this moment, this situation, buying habits has changed, consumer behavior has changed, lifestyle has changed. So it's no more about what we are going to sell to them, but it's more like gathering feedbacks from all these customers, from them to hear what exactly the changes are, and you actually help to change and improve or readapt to our own brand, so that we could actually bring our brand further. So that adaptation to changes is very important because we have to move along the way to when the changes come.
Wow. Thanks so much for that, Josephine. Sophia, you wanted to add on?
Yeah, I agree with Clara and Nadiah about video being very important, and I think there must be a way we can like present things on video in a very tasteful manner and not like a Facebook Live. Because customers asking me to do a Facebook Live and it descends into some market, and I'm like really I struggle with it. I don't know, I'll say like, oh, I'm shy, I don't want to do this or whatever. But I mean, you know, when push comes to shove, maybe really you have to really explore video as an option. Yeah. And yeah, so that's one skill set. And then there's a mindset change, obviously, for this period of time, which is yeah, like talking to your customers and knowing what they want, or how they're feeling at the moment. Because I have had customers who were retrenched, not in a good place, and obviously not in the mood to buy frogs. But you know, but it's just like maintaining a relationship with them to say that, you know, I mean, I'm not in a good place either, but you know, we will get through this well together.
I think that's really important. That, you know, having a sense of community, that even though you're buying my products, but I still care about you as a person, and I think consumers really do respond positively to that. You know, you're not just a number to them.
Yeah, bye, because nobody, you know, not everybody is in the same state they were pre-COVID. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So okay, so now we actually just reached our time. Actually, it's only 5:45, and I'm being chased by my colleagues to move on to the Doreen segment. But I just want to open it to the floor. You know, anybody who's got any questions, you know, please just write it in the chat. I can just take one or two questions, I think. And now we have to awkwardly pause for a while until everybody hears that question. We can just give it like, you know, another 30 seconds or something like that, just so people can finish typing. Oh, Doreen would like all of you to join her in the next session. Okay, so yeah, okay, so we'll save the Q&A for Doreen's segment then let's go on let's end this segment, and then we move on to Doreen's one, which is just starting right now. So see you guys in a bit. Bye.